I'm a guy that's 24. Each day I build some more. I like episode 7 and episode 8. I'm Rich Boy J. Hello boyos, Rich Boy J here, back in with another video, and this is going to be episode 42 of the Starkiller base mock build series. I'm really loving the positioning of this frame right now. Having this giant mock beside me is pretty cool, and to think that this is just a mere fraction of what Starkiller base is going to be just blows my mind. But first thing I want to give is shout outs to the people who donated via super chats on the live stream this week. It was so cool. We had a couple of really fun live streams I think this week, but first shout out to Jedi Bob, Brix Films, Sebastian, Somoza, Jedi John, Prequel Stud, oh my god, Alex Schlafer, ClutchPowers, Kult of Christiansen, Ethan, Blissett, 9, Chris Blank Productions, Lordof the Brix, Alex Mcbrick, and Matthew T. Thank you guys so much. It means so much when you are able to contribute to the mocks via super chats. And if you guys are not tuning into the live streams, I mean, I urge you to do so. It's always a great time. You get to see the mock early. You get to see me talk about Star Wars. You get to see us deliberate on the anatomy of Ki-Adi-Mundi even. But outside of that, this week was a very eventful one. I got a pretty good amount of work done on the prison section in Starkiller base. New lights were added to it. Unfortunately, I didn't get all the parts that I needed to really get as much progress done as I wanted to do, but it's a pretty significant amount of progress to say the least, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. Alright guys, let's check back in on Starkiller base. You can see a considerable amount of progress has been done on the mock so far. I hosted a stream earlier this week that allowed me to work on this. A lot of the orders that I needed came in to get the color swapped out to be the correct color, so let's show you what I got done. We'll first start over on the first prison cell over to the right. You'll see that all 8 arches are finally the correct color, which is awesome. These 2 light gray splotches are not supposed to be there. It's so funny, I order all these specific unique parts to fill in the colors for the arches, not realizing that I didn't have any dark gray 1x1 tiles to fill in here. So that's another order I'm going to have to place. Fortunately for me, it's a pretty small thing and I can get a pretty good idea of what this assembly is going to look like, and I love it. I love the way this window looks so much. This is exactly the shape that I wanted, and I think here you guys can really get a good idea for why I decided to, rather than just having, you know, the window use these bigger arches and that be the shape, to shrink it down a little bit and go with these small ones. I don't even know I can get this back in here with one hand. But you guys can get the idea. It's a pretty good looking window in my opinion. I also got the colors swapped around on the other side, which is nice because this will be very visible once you're looking at the cell from the inside. I do still need to get the floor tiled up. I'm kind of torn. I think I want to do black tiles for the floor in here. I'm honestly not sure if I have enough of black tiles to cover this. That might be something that I look into later on in the video, but that might be something I look into later on in the video, but for now, I'll just leave it empty. I do have, I think, a Pick-a-Brick order of a bunch of black tiles coming in, but with Pick-a-Brick, that's like a month out. You really never know when that's going to come in, so I'm not going to hold my breath waiting for that. Similarly, over on this side for the second cell, we have the arches put in, and it's just, like I said, good looking window. The arches are in there on both sides. You'll notice this cell is actually a bit smaller. That's actually done that way because there's going to be a balcony that comes out from here, and I basically just wanted to give it more space from there to there. And, you know, it's fine for me. Every cell does not need to be the exact same size there. I mean, it's reasonable to expect that there might be some variation in the cell sizes. So that's kind of the idea here. The one thing, because this cell is smaller, I'm probably not going to put a bed in it, which isn't really necessary because in Battlefront 2, the bed, I mean, I don't notice any beds in the rooms if you go peek in them. That was just something I added to give this room more detail. So I'll probably just have whoever standing around in the cell. Moving on, the floors. The floors are a big improvement, I think. I basically had to purchase a bunch of these flat silver 1x2 grill tiles. I got 300 of them, and I'm almost out, which kind of sucks because I was hoping to fill up the entire floor for this update. I do still have this and some 1x2 grill tiles in that same color, probably somewhere else in my collection, so I'm gonna just try to find as many as I can, and hopefully by the end of this update I can get the entire floor covered. You'll notice these gaps here. These are, once again, 1x1 dark gray tiles that I don't have, so those will be purchased and the floor will be completely finished by the next update for sure. The other small thing I wanted to bring up was the trim around the wall. This was a pretty cool thing, I think, because like obviously there's these elevated floor sections that come out from the middle tower, but there's actually a trim along the lower side of the wall that continues around the entire build. So I began working on that. I just think it looks cool. I think it looks nice having, you know, the floors with the grill tiles, but then the shift in elevation coming from this middle section and then continuing along the edges of the walls. I really think that looks awesome. And now for the most important part that I've been working on this build, this tower. This tower is looking so freaking good. These shapes are coming together so well. I love it. I love this so much. You'll notice there are a bunch of wires hanging from the top, and those are basically there because of the spotlights. You'll see on 4 corners of this build there are spotlights. They're around the back as well, if you can tell. And those are accurate. Those are in the game, so once I get everything wired up in this MOC, they'll be illuminated. I was honestly kind of wondering if I should even include these, because these lights will mostly shine off the MOC, if you'll notice, but I figured, I mean, why not? They're supposed to be there, and you're really not going to be able to see the ones around the back very well. So I thought, just go ahead and add the detail, Jay. It's not going to be a huge deal having a light shining off the MOC. But I went over a breakdown of how this entire thing comes together last week. But one thing I did want to bring up was that there was basically not necessarily an issue, but whenever I built this conical shape, I ended up with some small gaps in here that I needed to fill. So the way I did that, I'm going to actually go ahead and remove this, is I added these, those are basically 1x1 bricks with studs on the side. Actually, it's basically, you imagine this brick right here without that clear piece on it. Basically just clipped in like this on that section, and then there are the cheese slopes there, which basically just give, I think, half a plate of, basically just fills this in by half a plate. So once you fill in these columns right here, you're not left with that unsightly gap. Hopefully I can do this with one hand. Yeah, so once you fill in once you place the column right there, you just have that small gap filled in with some dark gray. And I thought that was just worth mentioning to you, because if anyone tries this design and you end up with gaps like that, there's just little cool techniques like that you can use to fill in those gaps. Similarly, I filled in gaps on the top section here using these tiles. Once those tiles weren't there, you could basically just kind of see through it, and I wasn't really liking that. So I filled in those gaps as well, and it just makes it look so nice. I think filling in gaps is kind of a next level technique you can use in your builds. Like, I mean, it would have looked fine without these tiles in here, but having the gaps filled in just makes it look that much nicer, that much cleaner, that much more seamless. So I love the way this came out. This is better than I thought it would. And it's pretty close to the shape of this command tower in the game. So I can't wait to have those lights illuminated. I can't wait to actually put like the interior, because there's actually an interior here for the command post. But before we get into that, my next steps are going to be basically closing off both of these rooms. What I want to do is add the ceiling to these, because there's basically going to be like the stairs. I actually removed the stairs for now, but the stairs are going to go here. They'll lead up to a section on top of here, and there's also going to be like a balcony on this side that I'll need to build. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and work on right now, and I will catch back up with you guys in a few. Oh boy, look at this. So much progress. I guess I'll first start off with the floor towards the back of the room. You can see that I filled in as much of it as I possibly could. I'm running low on those tiles, the grill tiles, obviously. Gonna need quite a few more to fill in the gaps, but I got a decent amount of it done. Like, if you look at it from a certain angle, it doesn't look too empty. So I'm mostly happy with that. You can also see the back wall has been filled in. There are the arches as well as the windows back there, and that's where a lot of the other prisoners are going to be housed. I still have not decided what I'm going to put in there in regards to the prisoners. Some of them will be just random resistance people because that's how it is in the films. Some of them will just be random resistance people because that's how it is in the game. Some of them will be just, I don't know, sketchy looking Star Wars characters. And a few of them will also be some funny Easter eggs. That's really one of the biggest reasons I left these two at the front open, to allow for some pretty awesome Easter egg potential. One thing you also notice is I did find mostly enough black tiles to fill in the floor in this one, and I'll give you a better look at that in a sec once I get the lights connected, because these two rooms actually both have lights now. The whole section of the build is not yet wired all the way, so basically to show either of those rooms with lights, I have to unhook my power supply connected to either side. Once this gets finished, that won't be an issue, but for now, while I'm still working on it, I haven't quite figured out the flow of wires, so I have to like reconnect it in order for you to see any individual section. One of the coolest things about this room, I think, is going to be this balcony over here. You can see I started a bit of it. I basically took the stairs from that side and I put them over here so you can get a look at what this will be like when it's finally done. I only had 2 of these light bluish gray 8x8 plates with the grills in the middle, which is honestly surprising to me because those don't come in a ton of sets. I basically just had those from my Betrayal in Cloud City. I had 2 of them actually, and I took 1 from each, and that's how I was able to even build this. So I'm going to put in some orders. I'll basically need 2 more. There's going to be 1 right here, and then 1 more that actually comes out a bit further to make more of a balcony. So I'm pretty excited to get that built. I love the way this looks. I love that, you know, the stairs and this little apparatus here is light gray. It really does a nice job at contrasting with the dark gray, because just kind of looking at this room specifically, there is just a lot of dark gray. So I wanted to make it a point to add in a little bit of more color. The dark gray thing won't be an issue once we add, there's like these huge vents that are basically above the prison rooms, and those are mostly just bright glowing red. So that's not something I'm super concerned about, but I think that the light gray works really well to contrast with the other colors I have. Another thing you'll notice is I have the lights rigged up on the main command tower, which I just love. Like I was mentioning earlier, I love the way the shape came out on this thing, and getting the lights rigged into it is just so cool. It does a good job of illuminating the back side of the room. And I love this so much. This is the centerpiece of this room. I put a lot of work into making sure these angles came together very nicely, and it has been very rewarding, as you can see from this underside. There's just a lot going on with this section, and I think that's pretty cool. The next thing I want to show you guys is this room right here, so give me a sec. I'm going to get the lights connected, and you'll get a much better view of the room. And here is the prison cell. Oh, I love this so much. So we got the Tusken Raider in there doing some hard time on Starkiller base. You know, now that I think of it, whenever they went to blow up Starkiller base, I wonder what happened to all the prisoners. Like, were there rebel prisoners in the base whenever they blew it up? That would be very unfortunate. Anyways, yeah, I love the way this room is looking, especially with the basically red shield doors over to the right that actually came out really nicely. I just have some red lights shining into that. I was going to show both of this room and the other one over there, but they're basically the same thing, so I figure I may as well just show the bigger room, and then want to actually, you know, like get more built over there by the way of like tiles for the floor, and actually come up with someone to put in there permanently. I guess I'll show off that other room, but I love just the aesthetic of this so much. Like, it has really big Starkiller base prison vibes, if I must say so myself. And then I just love that the arch window design is also on the inside. I think that looks quite good. The final thing on this room that I really wanted to show you guys is the ceiling. If you'll notice, I've put quite a bit of work into the ceiling designs in pretty much all the rooms in Starkiller. I've been putting a lot of effort into doing these snot ceilings, basically where the ceiling of the room is not just, you know, the bottom side of a plate, but instead it's actually like built up, and it's tiled off, and it looks smooth, just like every other wall in the room. And I'm trying to continue that. It's definitely very, very parts expensive. Like, it would have been so much easier for me to just leave the bottom of this plate as the ceiling of this room. But I really want to make every piece of this build special and appear well thought out. So I'm doing these snot ceilings in these rooms. I have those two light fixtures, and it looks pretty awesome. Like, I love the aesthetic of this room. The Tusken Raider probably won't be there forever. I literally just grabbed the figure because I wanted someone to put in here for this scene. But the fact that this room is done makes me really want to figure out like a really funny, nice Easter egg to put in here for the prison cell. So another room knocked out in Starkiller makes me very happy, and we have so many more to go. But that's really all the progress that I got done this week. This prison section is just looking so incredible. Like, I'm using such a variety of techniques. Like, I thought the Snoke room was going to be really diverse in terms of techniques, but this one is at least right up there with it. Maybe even more complex due to some of the more varied things that are in the room. Moving forward, I hope to get the pieces and the tiles to fill in these holes. The other pieces I need to do the stairs. I'm so mad at myself. I thought I ordered every piece I needed to have complete stairs on both sides, but I didn't. There was one piece that I was missing. That kind of sucks, but hopefully that'll be coming in this week as well, so I can have that finished off for you guys. I'm going to order the grill tiles, the grill plates to get some work done on that balcony. And then over on this side, this is a pretty complex platform in itself. There's going to be a guardrail going around. There's actually going to be rocks. I know, you guys are so excited to see me do more rock work, but there are rocks on this side as well as a door that will basically lead nowhere, and then over everything a big balcony. There's still a lot of things that are to be built in this mock, but it's all looking very cool. It's just progressing level by level, and I love the way this is looking so much. So let's go ahead and move to the end of the video. And that's going to finish up the video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed checking out Starkiller Base once again. These are just getting so fun to do with all the new things that are being added to the mock, all of the just new rooms that are being built. It feels like each week there's something new that I can offer you guys technique-wise. It's not like when I was building, rock work or mountains, where every week it's like, all right, the mountain's this much taller. There's new cool things that are being added to the mock each week now, and that really excites me as a builder. Just having new challenges every single week just is so much more interesting and so much more fulfilling as a builder than just being like, built this wall up tall and next week build it even taller. So I'm just having a lot of fun with the mock right now. Hopefully you guys are seeing that, and how I'm just talking about the builds, and this mock is just so what can I even say about this build? It's taking forever, I understand that, but I think in the end it's totally going to be worth it when we have something truly special. Like this sitting here beside me now would be a big mock, a nice mock on its own, but this is still such a small portion of the build. It's really hard for me to wrap my mind around it. I do want to talk to I did want to lastly mention something. I kind of talked about this on the live stream last week, but I know a lot of you are new to the channel and new to the series, and maybe you weren't here, during the early stages of building this mock because it has been being built for so long. But next week, do you think it would be worth it for me to do like a quick overview of everything I have built and everything that is going to be built for this mock? I know if you just really want to know all my plans for this and what I have built, you could go back through the videos. That's a lot to ask. There are a lot of videos. I totally understand that. But I'd like to know how you guys feel about that. All the new people, would it be beneficial for you guys to get like, I guess, a crash course on Starkiller Base and basically all my plans for this build? So let me know in the comment section what you guys think about that. But that's going to finish things up today. Hope you guys enjoyed checking out Starkiller. If you like what I do, go ahead and support the video by hitting the like button, support the channel by smashing that subscribe button, and I'll be back again very soon.